Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is the live game review to Everton's fantastic 2-1 victory against Arsenal last Saturday. Carlo Ancelotti's Everton moving up to second in the Premier League on Saturday night before falling to fourth because Tottenham and Leicester, Tottenham and Leeds are absolutely woeful, but still in the top four at Christmas, which is absolutely fantastic. It is officially a year to the day since Carlo Ancelotti took over as Everton manager. I still remember standing in my kitchen, literally waiting for the team news for the game against Arsenal, and it coming through that we'd actually signed Carlo Ancelotti to be our next manager of the football club, and I was just baffled. And to be perfectly honest, I'm still baffled to this day that Carlo Ancelotti is our manager. And yet, 12 months later, Carlo took over an Everton team that were 15th in the Premier League, struggling, we'd had a good patch under Duncan Ferguson, but there was a lot of talk, especially when Marco Silva was in charge of the football club, as to whether we'd even be able to stay in the Premier League. Yet, 12 months later, Carlo Ancelotti's come in, he's brought in players like Alan, James Rodriguez, Abdoulaye Doucouré, Ben Godfrey, and we're sitting in the top four 12 months later, going into Christmas. It's absolutely fantastic. Carlo Magnifico, Carlo Fantastico. I know it's the other way around, but what a year it's been under Ancelotti, and what a win that was last Saturday. It is, of course, the live game review, so we're here to talk about the win in all of its glory. I do apologise that we're a little bit late today. I think I explained it last week. It's the run-up to Christmas. It's actually the week of Christmas, so the streams and the videos for this week may be a little bit, the timing may be a little bit off than what it usually is, purely because obviously there's a lot going on at the moment. There's a lot of games being played, and there's still a lot of Christmas shopping to be done from my end, to be perfectly fair. But what a win, what a result, and another really, really good Everton performance, to be fair. Again, there was a lot of talk going into this game about facing Arsenal, who obviously are on a bad run of form themselves, and on paper you might look at it and think, right, this was a great time to play Arsenal. They're struggling to score. There's a lot of discussion around whether the manager should stay or not. The players aren't really up to it, but it's never really a good time to play a side like that, because that makes them even more dangerous than they usually are. When you back a wounded animal into a corner, at one point or another, at some point they're going to strike, and that could have easily been on Saturday. Arsenal are due a win. They're a team with good quality going forward. Obviously, the team news was released an hour before the game. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was out, injured. I think he's got a tight groin or something like that. That was a big boost to Everton. And Carlo Ancelotti started with a very, very strong Everton side. Jordan Pickford returned to back in goal, which again I think was expected. Maybe some people thought Robin Olsen would stay, and I certainly thought that Jordan would return. Carlo kept with the same back line as that has been so successful over the last couple of games. Ben Godfrey playing at left back, who's been absolutely brilliant and was brilliant again on Saturday. Mason Holgate starting at right back. Seamus Coleman obviously on the bench. And the only other change being Tom Davies coming in for Alan. And again, this was, because Andre Gomez had picked up an injury and Sainanum wasn't available. And I'm not saying that if Andre Gomez was available, he'd have started definitely, but I had a feeling that if he was fit, he would have been starting in that game. But Tom Davies was in there, and I actually felt like Tom Davies was the more like-for-like replacement, if you like, to Alan. I thought he was the better choice to put in there. And like I said, it was a very, very strong team. And Everton started the game, quite well. Yes, Arsenal didn't, they looked a little bit comfortable and we didn't really threaten them. But it was a different style of game, this, for me. It was a very different game to the one against Chelsea and the one against Leicester, because the games against Leicester and Chelsea, we come up against two very, very good sides, full of confidence, and who were very good going forward. Leicester had won the most games in the Premier League at that point that we faced them. Chelsea, again, scoring goals freely, absolutely fantastic going forward. So we come up against two sides that were going to get at us, we're wanting to break us down, we're going to have 60, 70, 80% possession, we're going to try and constantly create opportunities. So our defensive line really, really worked in those games, because we kept a low block, we sucked up everything that come at us, we defended brilliantly, and then we hit those two teams on the counter-attack. We got a penalty against Chelsea, won that game, and we got a couple of goals on the counter-attack against Leicester and won that game. And it was two very, very good performances, but you almost felt coming into this game, right, this might be a little bit different tactically, because Arsenal are a side that are in awful form at the moment. There's not a lot of confidence throughout that Arsenal side. There's not a lot of confidence in the manager. The players seem down. So they're not going to really come to Goodison Park and do what Chelsea did or do what Leicester did and have 80-90% possession and try and constantly get at us. They started with a 5 at the back formation. So it almost felt in the first 15-20 minutes of the game that Everton were the team controlling the ball. Everton were the team that had to press Arsenal creatively. And obviously, start of the season, when you've got players like James Rodriguez in the team and Luca Dean in the team, that would have been a piece of piss for Everton. I said it to me dad. I was sitting next to him watching it in the pub, and I said to me dad, look, if we had James in this team and Luca Dean, we'd have a field day against these. It would have been about 3 or 4-0 in the opening 20 minutes because Arsenal are so open defensively. And let's be honest, they haven't got an awful lot of quality in their midfield. But the reality of the situation is we didn't have those two players and we haven't had those two players available for a couple of weeks. And that's, I wouldn't say worked in our favour, but we've managed to be able to deal with that, which is credit to Carlo Ancelotti and the players that have played in those couple of games. But we've managed to be able to deal with that by keeping a low block, defending against those sides that are throwing balls constantly at us and then hitting them on the break. Whereas coming up against an Arsenal side who sort of went, no, we are, you have the ball, you come at us, you try and break us down. We needed to find a little bit more of a creative spark, and we did that obviously with the opening goal, which we'll go into talking about in a moment. A big thanks to everybody for joining us live. Really do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you're watching live, please do share the live stream. Let's try and get as many people in here as possible. If you could leave a like as well, it would mean a great deal to me. A big thanks, by the way, for all of the support on the recent videos. It's been absolutely unbelievable. It really has. So I just want to say a big thanks for all of the support. We will have the game preview to the Carabao Cup semi-final against Manchester United. That'll be out tomorrow night, so don't forget to look out for that one. Big game on Wednesday, obviously, and it'll be a massive chance for us to progress in a cup competition. And look, I won a trophy this season. Yes, the league position is great, and it's fantastic that we're sitting, top 4 going into Christmas, but I won a trophy this season. I want to come out of this season saying Everton have won the Carabao Cup or Everton have won the FA Cup. For me, that's my primary focus. Obviously, finishing and doing well in the league's a focus as well, but I want a trophy. So big game on Wednesday. But yeah, like I said, it was a little bit of a different start to the game that we've been used to over the last couple, in where Arsenal were sort of the defending team, if you like, and they still did have a fair bit of the ball, and they still were sort of looking comfortable in possession, and I think that worked in our favour. If Arsenal would have given us the ball and went, well, you know what, we're going to sit in a low block and we're just going to let you come at us, I think that would have worked a little bit more in their favour, to be perfectly honest with you, because obviously a lot of Everton's creativity this season has come from James Rodriguez and Luca Dean, and we didn't have those two players available. But I think the more the game went on, the more confidence Arsenal started to get, the more they wanted the ball, the more they come at us, and then that just worked in our favour then, because we just hit them on the break and took advantage of their defensive weaknesses, really, and ultimately that's what won us the game. Again, it was nail biting until the very last minute. Andre Mina, for some reason, decided to play about 45 minutes extra time because he was absolutely desperate for Arsenal to get something out of the game, but we held on, and we held on really well. And again, it was another really good defensive performance. Michael Keane, unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable, so good at the back. Yerry Mina, of course, not only getting the winning goal, but fantastic defensively as well. Ben Godfrey, brilliant again, absolute. I love Ben Godfrey. I'll quite happily sit here and do an hour live stream just talking about how boss Ben Godfrey is, because the lad is absolutely unbelievable. He's not afraid to do anything, is he? He's not afraid to throw a challenge in, he's not afraid to get himself hurt, he's not afraid to throw himself in front of plays, he's not afraid to make a burst and run forward. Ben Godfrey made a burst and run forward, I think it was at 2-1, and it deserved the goal, and he actually put a decent ball into the box, but it was just behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Dom couldn't get anything onto it, but he absolutely got the ball from his own half, and he just bursted completely into Arsenal's half, right into the box, and put a ball, like I said, across the goal line, and it was just unlucky that, Dom was just a little bit ahead of it. Absolutely brilliant performance again by him. Mason Holgate, so assured. And you know what? I do think Carlo Ancelotti deserves a lot of credit, because we all sat here on Friday and we said, look, don't change the defence, keep it as it is. Some people said maybe move Mason Holgate into central midfield and bring Seamus Coleman back. It would have been very easy, given Seamus Coleman's the captain of the football club, given Seamus Coleman's had a decent start to the season himself when he's not been injured. It would have been very easy for Carlo Ancelotti to say, no, you know what? you're going back in there today. You're going back in there. You're the captain. You've been playing well this season. You're returning from injury. You're going back in. But he didn't. He didn't. He looked at the last two results and he went, why would I change it? I'll make one change to the team, which is because I have to, because it's forced, because Alan was injured. Defensively, no changes. Going forward, no changes. We are, as we were for the last couple of games, and we play in the same fashion. And we did do that, and it was excellent. It absolutely was excellent. Now, I expect changes for Wednesday's game because it's a midweek cup fixture, and it'd be a good opportunity for, maybe some of the youngsters to get involved and have a go. Not too many changes, but, a couple, just to give a rest to some of those players that'll be playing week in, week out in the Premier League. But again, I do give a lot of credit for Carlo Ancelotti for sticking to his guns. Again, Mason Holgate, not a natural right back, obviously trying to build his trade as a centre half. It'd been very, very easy for Carlo Ancelotti to go, right, okay, thank you for the job you've done at right back. You've been brilliant, but Seamus is back now, so he's going in there. But he didn't. He went, no, you four have been brilliant, so you four are staying. And it worked. It worked for Everton. And like I said, the game started a little bit differently to the one against Leicester and Chelsea. Arsenal were having a fair share of the ball, but they weren't necessarily coming forward, coming at us like the other two teams were, and they definitely weren't coming at us with as much quality as the other two sides were. Alexander Lacazette being on the bench, which baffled me in terms of decision making from Mikel Arteta. Obviously, Aubameyang not in the squad. So again, they were getting forward, but nothing was really coming of it, and Everton weren't really tested defensively in that opening 15-20 minutes. Michael Keane decides to just go on an absolutely mad run, by the way, and has a shot from 35 yards. And I literally, what this reminded me of, and I don't know whether it reminded anybody else of. Let me know in the live comments if you're watching. Let me know in the comment section down below if you're watching as well, if this was the same for you. But as soon as that ball left his foot, I just had visions of Phil Jagielka against Liverpool in the last minute, and I just thought, this is rifling into the top corner, and this little glass of Coke here in front of me is going right through that Christmas tree over there, because I just had visions of Jagielka's shot against Liverpool and the commentator screaming Michael Keane, and it just seemed too good to be true, didn't it? And it was. Michael Keane has a very, very good shot from 30 odd yards out, and it's actually really, really close as well. It's quite unlucky. Leno, dives and covers the that side of the goal. Whether he'd have got anything on it if it had been on target, I don't know, but it just whistles past the post, and it's a positive start for Everton. Again, it's Everton coming forward and thinking, well, you know what? Well, we'll create the chances then. We'll put you on a back foot, because as soon as we went 1-0 up in that game, Arsenal had to come at us, and that suited us. That suited us to a T, because we had to just keep that low block and continue to defend as well as we've been doing over the last couple of games or so. We conceded the silly penalty, which we'll go on to talking about in a moment, but again, that suited us, and I think Michael Keane sort of thought, well, you know what, I'll go out and I'll go and try and get the first then. It was a fantastic, fantastic effort. Obviously, just whistled past the post, unluckily for Michael Keane. But yeah, it did just give me... It gave me visions of Phil Jagielka burying that one at Anfield in the last minute, and I just thought, Michael Keane's done it again here. But it doesn't. It whistles past the post, and you're thinking, right, okay, that's a good opportunity. Let's continue to break forward now. And again, it was sort of even, nothing really troubling either side. Arsenal did get through on a couple of occasions a little bit too easily. Again, those lapses in concentration defensively, which we haven't had many of recently, certainly not in the last 3 games or so, but when we have them, we really, really need to start cutting those out, because ultimately, at some point or another, it's going to hurt us. At some point or another, you're going to have a player with a little bit more composure than the young lad did for Arsenal on Saturday. You're going to have a player with a little bit more quality who will finish those chances, and we don't want to let our heads drop when that happens. So we need to be a little bit tighter defensively. But again, they were getting forward. They were creating the odd half chance. We were creating. It was a very even game of football. Nothing massively happening in the first half. And then Tom Davies picks the ball up. And I want to talk about Tom Davies because he gave away a penalty on Saturday. And I was disappointed. Not only because I think it's a stupid penalty to give away, but also because I think it's sort of... I didn't want that penalty to... have an effect on people's opinions of Tom Davies' performance, because it would have been so easy for us to sit there and go, oh, bloody hell, that Tom Davies got to start again on Saturday and give away a penalty and nearly lost us the game, or nearly, lost us the 3 points, this, that, the other. I actually thought, penalty aside, which was a really stupid challenge, by the way, we'll go into talking about it in a bit more detail. It was a really stupid challenge. It didn't have to be made, and it was silly, but I actually thought, penalty aside, Tom Davies played quite well, certainly in that first half. Second half, okay, went missing missing a little bit, didn't really have an awful lot of involvement, to be fair. But in that first half, he was everywhere. He was picking the ball up, he was making the challenges, he was getting involved. He had a big part to play in that opening goal. Again, he was breaking forward, he was trying to create chances, he was trying to get involved, and he was working really hard. And like I said, as soon as he gave away that penalty, I sort of just put my head in my hands and I thought, what have you done there? Because now everyone's going to go, oh, look at Tom Davies making another mistake there, this, that, the other. I actually thought he had a really positive first half. And he wasn't awful in the second half either. Like I said, he wasn't massively involved, but he certainly, wasn't awful. But again, Tom Davies picks the ball up in the centre of midfield, makes a brilliant run, gets past everybody, finds Alex Iwobi on the right-hand side. Alex Iwobi plays a really good cross into the box. We've criticised Alex Iwobi for his finishing recently, his final ball recently, and we have criticised him for that, and rightly so, because he needs to improve on his final ball. But one thing you can't say is that, he didn't produce on Saturday. It was a brilliant ball into the box. Dominic Calvert-Lewin jumps, gets it head on it, comes off Rob Holding's leg, and it goes in, and Everton are 1-0 up. And at that point, you're sort of thinking, right, brilliant, this might just start to suit us now, because Arsenal are forced to come out at us. They can't sit back with their 5 at the back and just, lump balls over the top. They're going to be forced to try and actively create, and we can keep that strong back line. And that was very much the case. They got forward, we defended again. Michael Keane, Yerry Mina in full flow, absolutely brilliant defensively. Those two deserve a lot of praise. Listen, certainly Yerry Mina, he's come under a lot of stick recently, and again, arguably rightly so. He has these performances where one week he's absolutely brilliant, the next week he's poor. It's the inconsistency that I think winds a lot of Evertonians up with Yerry Mina. But over the last 3 games, he's been absolutely fantastic. He really has, and he topped this one off with a brilliant header, which ultimately won us the game. And again, like I said, we're defending well. Ben Godfrey's, doing well on that right-hand side, makes a brilliant challenge. Left-hand side makes a brilliant challenge on Danny Ceballos, where he's just about to cross it in, and Ben Godfrey just it looks like he's sliding from Stanley Park. He just comes out of nowhere with this mad slide, and wins the ball fairly, of course, and I think it goes out for a corner, even though it should have been a goal kick. And then again, little mistake, give the ball away far too easily. They put a cross in, and I do think it's poor defending. I do, because Yerry Mina sort of dive and heads it, but it literally plays it right into the path of another Arsenal player. I understand that, at that point, Yerry Mina obviously felt like the diving header was the best and easiest option. In hindsight, which is a wonderful thing, and we can all sit back at the end of the game and say, he should have done that, he should have done this, and Yerry Mina's probably sitting back saying, why didn't I do that? But again, hindsight is a wonderful thing, and ultimately, Yerry Mina could have volleyed that and volleyed it quite high, and the chance wouldn't have got to Arsenal, but he heads it out. Again, I can't remember who it is. Picks the ball up. It might have been Emile Smith-Rowe or Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah, I think it was actually. Emile Smith-Rowe didn't even play. I was watching an Arsenal video before and they mentioned him. Eddie Nketiah picks the ball up, I think it is, drives into the box, and Tom Davies takes a swipe at him, and it's silly. It really is silly. It reminds me of the Andre Gomez one against Newcastle, which again, very soft and very minimal contact, but as soon as you swing a leg in the box, a penalty is being given, especially with Andre Manina as the referee. You could tell all game he wanted to do his absolute best to gift Arsenal a chance at winning that game of football or getting something out of that game of football. And as soon as Tom Davies swung that leg, it didn't really matter if any contact was made. It didn't really matter if if the lad went down. It was always going to be a penalty, because you just can't swing your leg. If you're going to swing your leg like that, you have to make sure you get the cleanest of contact on the ball. And he doesn't. He misses the ball. He does make contact with the man, and like I said, it's a silly penalty to give away, and it was disappointing, because I did put my head in my hands and I thought Tom's had a really good opening 20 minutes here. He had a vital part to play in the goal. He was brilliant going forward. He dragged the ball forward. He played it to Alex Iwobi. He's been really good in the midfield. He's been throwing himself in, getting involved in challenges, not afraid to sort of put himself about, and he's gone and done that, which just, arguably it sort of makes everything go, it doesn't really matter there. It was good performance for the first 20 minutes, doesn't really matter because he's just, he's gone and conceded the penalty, and it is a silly penalty. I've got no issues with it whatsoever. It's a silly penalty to give away. Pepe steps up then, slots the penalty, and it's 1-1, and I thought it was quite undeserving from Arsenal, to be honest. They had the odd half chance here and there, but let's be honest, we were in control of the game. We were defending really, really well, and it was a soft goal to give away. And that's the first time we conceded in 3 games. And that's when you start to sort of think, right, okay, let's see the mentality of this Everton side. Let's see if we need to change it up now, because we just can't go and defend the lead now. We just can't go and keep a strong, flat back line and defend the lead. We have to go out and get the winner. We have to go out and get another one. So let's see what happens now. And lo and behold, Carlo Ancelotti's Everton, who have been fantastic over 12 months at picking themselves up when things haven't gone their way and gone again. Okay, we've had a couple of games where we've looked a shambles and where we've looked like we didn't want to get involved, but more often than not, if we concede, we pick our heads up and we go again, and we've done it again. We absolutely done it again. Yerry Mina, Yerry Christmas, everybody, scoring at his favourite time. I think Yerry Mina scored 4 goals in the Premier League for Everton, or certainly his last 4 goals in the Premier League, and they've all been just before half-time on that 45-minute mark. We break up the other end. Dominic Calvert-Lewin does brilliantly, by the way. Gets the ball onto his left foot. An unbelievable shot. Fantastic shot. Forces Leno into a save. I actually think it's a really, really good save. It hasn't been talked about enough, in my opinion. I think it's a fantastic save. Leno saves it, concedes the corner. And I said this in the instant match reaction, but I'm going to say it again for the purpose of the live stream. But we will get in the live comments, by the way, in a second. If you're watching and you're enjoying, please do hit that like button. Really, really do appreciate all of the support, as always. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. But we were sitting there in the pub, and like I said, you've got a corner. Perfect time to score. Last couple of seconds before half time, the fella in the pub sitting next to me goes, "Where's big Yerry Mina then?" Literally as the ball leaves Gylfi Sigurdsson's foot, and then you just hear a massive scream from the entire pub, because guess what? Big Yerry Mina's ran from one side of the penalty box to the other, got his head on it, and put Everton 2-1 up going into half-time. The perfect time to score. The perfect time to go into half-time positive, full of energy, full of confidence. Arsenal would have gone into half-time the happier team there. They'd got back into the game. They'd had a little bit of confidence. The team talk would have been very positive, and they'd have come out, with a 1 to win, breaking at us, trying to get that 3 points that they so desperately needed. Soon as Yerry Mina heads that in, all that confidence, all that energy, all that positivity from Arsenal just drains out, and it falls to Everton. Now Everton are going in the lead. Now Everton can say, right, okay, again, let's continue to hit them on the counter-attack, but keep a solid defence. Don't be doing anything stupid. Tom Davies is probably relieved because he's thinking, okay, I've got away with one a little bit there. A perfect time to score. And what a header it was, by the way. What an absolute bullet of a header by Yerry Mina. Look, he arguably doesn't score enough goals in situations like that, but when he does, they are important. He scored 2 against Watford when we were 2-0 down. Again, we went from 2-0 down in the 44th minute to going in at half-time, 2-2. Brilliant, happy days. Again, 2 goals at the end of the half in that game. Burnley, I think when we beat them 5-1, he scored towards the end of the half. He always scores at that vitally important crunch time of right on half time when you so desperately need it. And it was a brilliant header again by Yerry Mina. And not long after that, the whistle goes and we're going in at half time. And again, you're 2-1 up. The positivity's there, and you're thinking, right, okay, come out. Defending, better in the second half. Don't allow them through as many times as we did. Don't concede the stupid penalty. Keep it tight. And that's exactly what we did. And again, we come away with a very good win. Let's get involved with the live comments then before we go into talking about the second half specifically, because I do want to mention the second half as well. Big thanks to everybody for getting involved. Like I said, if you are enjoying, please do hit that like button. Don't forget to share the stream as well if you are enjoying. Everton Bot says lots of love. Cam, thank you very much, mate. Alex says Everton are massive. We certainly are. Philip Mason says happy Carlo Day. All happy Carlo Day. This day should be named in the world. It should be a bank holiday every year. Happy Carlo Ancelotti Day. Liam says, hey Cam, love the vids, lad. What an impact Carlo has had at this club. Still can't believe we got Carlo. He really is fantastico and magnifico up the soffies. Thank you very much, mate. You're absolutely spot on. Couldn't word it better myself. Chenlar says, look leggy. Players look leggy at the end of the game. Do we need to rest players, causing them to miss the United game? Yeah, again, you know, it's been 3 very, very difficult games. 3 brilliant games and 3 brilliant performances and 3 brilliant results, but very physically demanding games of football where we've been at 110%. The tempo's been high. We've been defending brilliantly. I think Carlo will make changes going into Wednesday's game. I do. Obviously, we'll do the predicted starting 11 in the preview tomorrow, so, you know, you'll gauge a bit of a... we'll gauge a sort of an understanding based off Carlo's pre-game press conference. But like I said, I think Carlo will make changes. Don't be surprised if you see maybe a Bernard in there, maybe even an Anthony Gordon in there. But I do think he'll make changes because, again, we've got a big game on Boxing Day. We're coming up against the side that haven't won a game this season. And you know, you might sit there thinking, that's not a big game, Cam. We'll beat them easily. Look, don't put it past Sheffield United. I've seen many teams play Everton Football Club when they haven't won a game or they haven't scored in 15 games or a player who plays for them hasn't scored since 2001, yet they come to Everton and they always seem to score an hat-trick and they always seem to win a game. So we've got a massive game on Boxing Day. This is a big game as well, quarter-final against Manchester United at Goodison Park. Doesn't get much bigger, 2,000 fans returning to Goodison once again. But I do think we'll see some changes. Wormy says, Cam lad, how's everyone doing? I'm not too bad. Philip says, good Wormy. Eden says, Ancelotti's anniversary. Titus says, come on and be back and saying, and yeah, I don't know, mate, to be honest, I don't know. Eden says, Everton should play Robin Olsen in goal against Manchester United. Fair enough. Wormy says, where's Kabam? Thought he was back 6 weeks ago. Well, Carlo did say about 4 weeks ago that he's only a couple of weeks away from returning, but again, you know, we don't know. EFC DZN says, Merry Christmas to all festive toffees. Come on, you Blues. Thank you very much, mate. Merry Christmas to you too. Eugene's going for 4-1 in the game on Wednesday. I'd take that, mate. 4-1 to Everton. When he says, Merry Christmas. Semi says, greetings, gents. 3 points and 4th in the table. Need us to get the result against Man United, as one of my best mates is a United supporter. We certainly do. The Carabao Cup final has been changed, right, Remy? And Jane says, how are you feeling about the quarters? I'd love to get Europe and win the Carabao, but it's unlikely it will happen because it's City's trophy every year. I'm feeling confident, mate. Listen, Man United are in a good bit of form themselves. Obviously, really big win yesterday against Leeds. But again, I'm feeling confident. This Everton team has got a lot of confidence at the moment. Be a good chance for those players that want to prove themselves to be able to prove themselves. And you know, again, 2,000 fans back at Goodison Park. Look, we saw the effect that the fans returning to Goodison Park had in the game against Chelsea last week. We saw the effect that fans returning to Goodison Park had against Arsenal on Saturday. It's that boost, it's that 12 man, and the players really do play off that. And again, they did on Saturday. We come out for the second half and Arsenal didn't really threaten us. This is where you saw the worrying side of Arsenal, I suppose, from their point of view. Again, not so worrying about us. I don't care. I don't care if Arsenal get relegated. I don't care if they stay up. I'm not really too bothered. But from an Arsenal fan's point of view, I suppose, this is where their real worries are coming from. They're 2-1 down away from home. They've gone in at half-time. They've got an entire 45 minutes to change the game, and they don't really do much. They had a little spell in the last couple of minutes where they come at us and they tried to get a point out of the game. But other than that, they didn't really threaten us. We continue to defend fantastically. We continue to again, a low block, very tight back line. Ben Godfrey, absolutely excellent throughout the entire game. Mason Holgate, brilliant. Mina and Keane, very good. Tom Davis did fade out of it a little bit in the second half, but Gylfi Sigurdsson again was given 110%. Abdoulaye Doucouré, what a player Abdoulaye Doucouré has been for Everton Football Club, certainly over the last couple of games. Man of the match against Leicester. Arguably his best performance in an Everton shirt. Very good against Chelsea the week prior. And again, really solid on Saturday. Just so demanding in that midfield. Head and shoulders better than any Arsenal player. And ultimately, that's how and why Arsenal fell short. They just didn't have the spirit to come and beat this Everton team, and that's what Carlo Ancelotti alluded to at the end of the game. He was asked about the performance, and he was asked about the result, and he said, look, having quality in your team isn't good enough. You can't just have quality. You need to have spirit. You need to have fight. You need to have passion. Your players need to want to win games. You can have all the quality in the world, but if your team doesn't fight for each other, if they haven't got each other's back, if they're not, a family, if there's no spirit, then they're not going to win anything. Because ultimately, it's that spirit that drags players through games, that drags teams through games. And equally, you can have a team with not an awful lot of quality in, but if the spirit's through the roof and the confidence is through the roof and they're all playing for each other and they're all best mates, they'll beat sides with a lot of quality that haven't got that spirit. There's a famous saying, it's on the wall at USM Finch Farm: hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, and that is absolutely spot on. Everton have got a lot of talent in this team, but one thing we've lacked over the years is the spirit and the actual fight. And you know, you'd sit back previously watching Everton prior to Carlo Ancelotti and you think, do these players really care? They want to be here. Yes, they've got quality, but do they give a shit about this football club like I give a shit about this football club? Now you look and you think, yes, they absolutely do. They care, they want it. Look at Ben Godfrey, he's throwing slide tackles in, he's screaming at the ref saying, that's our ball. He's breaking down the wing, he's blowing every single bit of energy he's got, he's leaving on that pitch. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is leaving every bit of sweat, every bit of energy he's got on that pitch. Richarlison playing, even with a wrist or hand which, you know, could be broken for all we know. He's playing through it because he wants to play for this football club. He wants to do well for this football club, and that's exactly what we want. Gylfi Sigurdsson in the last 3 games, okay, he hasn't been unbelievable in terms of goals and assist return, but he's been a lot more creative than he has been recently. But one thing I've been most impressed with is he looks like he cares, he wants the ball, he's getting involved, he's getting in the challenges, he's throwing himself in the way of things, he's working hard. Tom Davies working hard, Abdoulaye Doucouré working hard, Alex Iwobi working hard. Every single Everton player again on Saturday you looked at and you went, you've worked your bollocks off today, and that's why we deserved it more than they did, because they didn't create an awful lot of chances and they didn't work anywhere near as hard as we did. And again, that was shown in the second half. There was one moment in the second half that I really, really want to talk about, and that is regarding Arsenal midfielder Dani Ceballos. It's a red card. It's a red card all day of the week. There isn't. There's not one incident, not one scenario, one situation in which you could show me or explain to me or tell me that wouldn't make me change my mind. That is a blatant. Andre Mariner doesn't give it, because Andre Mariner hates Everton Football Club with a passion. Don't know why, but he strongly dislikes Everton Football Club. So he was never ever going to give that red card. Go and watch the last 10 minutes of that game on Saturday. Andre Mariner tried his absolute hardest to gift Arsenal something out of the game. He really, really did. You know, he was. I've just noticed the thumbnail on the video says that the Leicester review. We'll have to change that. We'll have to change that after. But he tried his absolute hardest to gift something. He played about 3 minutes extra time after the 5 minutes that was already played, and it should never have been 5 minutes played, to be perfectly honest, because nothing happened to warrant that. But again, the Dani Ceballos situation I want to talk about. Leaves his foot in, throws a stamp in. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting, and it's a sending off every single day of the week. There's not one. Again, there's not one scenario which you can speak to me about that would change my mind as to that not being a sending off. It's a blatant sending off. Computer's just having a little bit of a memory, and I think we're all back to good. It's a blatant sending off, and the fact that VAR doesn't even bother to check it is more of a worry for me than the fact that Andre Mariner doesn't give it, because Andre Mariner doesn't give it. He's never going to give anything against Everton. He hates us. VAR didn't even have a real look at it. How a player can get away with stamping down the back leg of another player. And you know what? If Yerry Mina had rolled round, if Yerry Mina would have got on the floor and done a little bit of a roll and held his head or had a little bit of a scream, Dani Ceballos sees red in that game. He absolutely sees red and he gets sent off. The fact that Yerry Mina got back up and he had a little bit of a go at him back and he went, no, I'm not dealing with that. That meant that Andre Mariner and VAR and the referees just went, no, it's done with, move on, get over it. If Yerry Mina had rolled round and held his leg or screamed, or the players of the crowd at the ref, it's a sending off all day. And I'm not saying he should have done that, but how it wasn't given as a sending off is absolutely beyond me. And, Arsenal should have been down to 10 men. And if they were down to 10 men, then they weren't putting in that fight towards the end of the game and they weren't showing that passion towards the end of the game. But anyway, there you go. And you know what? Nothing much really else happened in the second half, to be perfectly honest with you. Like I said, they had a little spell in the final 10 or 15 minutes. Not even that, final 5 or 10 minutes, where they tried to get us, they tried to create. They had one shot in the in the last moment where Jordan Pickford gets down and makes a good save. Now, I do think it's off target, but I want to talk about Jordan Pickford. It leads me into talking about Jordan Pickford because, again, a lot of talk about Jordan Pickford going into this game. There was a lot of confusion as to why he started, because obviously Robin Olsen played against Leicester and played very, very well. I expected Jordan Pickford to start because ultimately Carlo Ancelotti has said that he was rested. He didn't say he was dropped. He didn't say he was taken out through injury. He said he was rested. So I expected that Jordan Pickford would start this game on Saturday, and he did start the game on Saturday. And again, it was a mixed performance for me from Jordan. He spends a lot of time flapping at balls unnecessarily. There was about 3 occasions where he dived for crosses or shots, and he just never needed to do it. They were going miles wide, or they were easily defended, but he's diving as if they're flying in the top corner. And I don't know whether it's because he's generally worried about where they're going, or whether he just wants to look brilliant for the camera, but that doesn't instill confidence in your defence. That doesn't instill confidence in your fan base when I'm sitting there and Jordan Pickford's diving at a cross that's nowhere near him, and you're thinking, why are you diving there? What are you doing there? There was one, obviously, moment in the game where he comes out. I think he tries to catch a ball. He's caught between catching it and punching it. Sort of just goes into the middle. David Luiz gets a volley on it and it hits the bar. And Everton escape one really there, because that could have got anywhere. It could have gone in the back of the net. It'd have been 2-2, and Arsenal would have been coming at us to try and find a winner. So he escaped one massively there. But then last 2 minutes of the game, again, going wide when you look back on it, but hindsight's a beautiful thing, and Jordan Pickford wouldn't have known this was going wide at the time. Arsenal getting round the back, literally last kick of the game. Shouldn't have been the last kick of the game, because it was about 7 minutes in, even though there was only 5 minutes at the time, and Jordan gets down and makes a brilliant save. And again, at that point, I wasn't aware that was going wide, so for me, that's a game-winning save. And that's what we're getting from Jordan Pickford at the moment. He's been a lot better recently. Against Leicester, against Chelsea, he was a lot better. Against Burnley, he had a decent game as well. But that seems to be what you're getting for Jordan Pickford, from Jordan Pickford, is that make a couple of howlers in a game, but then keep you in a game with a brilliant save. And it's not ideal, because it doesn't instill a lot of confidence, but ultimately, that's what we've got. And will we see him again on Wednesday? I don't know. Maybe we'll see Robin Olsen again. I'm not entirely sure. But I did just want to pick it out because, again, it was a very sort of... It was a mixed bag of emotions, I think, for Jordan Pickford, and it was a mixed performance for him. On Saturday, in some parts, you're thinking, what are you doing? You shouldn't be on the pitch. But then he comes up with a brilliant save at the end of the game, which ultimately wins us the game. And again, it's mad, isn't it? It's a mad one. But other than the odd couple of things that he flapped at, and the couple of times that Arsenal got in behind us, I thought defensively we were spot on. I thought defensively we were absolutely brilliant. We really, really were. We were so solid. Again, Ben Godfrey was excellent. Mason Allgate was excellent. Mina and Keane were excellent. It was just a very, very good defensive performance, other than those couple of situations, and of course the penalty, which again is a very silly penalty to give away. Wimmy says there was that one where he punched it and they hit the bar, same as when he nearly got lobbed by Mount. I breathe a sigh of relief when they don't go in. Just Pickford's guaranteed at least one a game. Yeah, it is. It's disappointing. It is. And look, I do want to be fair to Jordan Pickford, because it's very, very easy. I'm not going in on Robin Olsen here, by the way, before anyone has an idea that I am. But it'd be very, very easy for us to sit here and go, Robin Olsen wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have made that mistake. He wouldn't have come out and flapped at that ball. But ultimately, we don't know that. Robin Olsen's been very solid in the couple of games that he's played for Everton. But again, that's easier said than done, isn't it? Fabio says, how expensive US dollars is entrance to Goodison Park? My plan is to know that awesome stadium. I don't know, mate, to be honest. An average ticket's probably about £30 for a Premier League game. So maybe like $45, $50, something like that. Semi says, GoFundMe campaign for Cam's new computer. I'm getting a new computer after Christmas, 100%, by the way. So everything will be a lot better. Fabio says, I'm from Colombia. Is right, mate. Happy days. Welcome to the stream. Thanks very much for joining. Philip says, Merry Christmas. Jeff says, Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, Jeff. Merry Christmas, Philip. Semi says, sound plan that, merch. Philip says, yeah, Cam, sell all your stuff. And Wormy says, Cam, start selling your shirts. Then you can get a new comp, merch. Listen, merch, would anybody be interested in merch? I don't know. Listen, maybe it's something we'll look at doing in the future if you're interested. Simon says, yeah, we got to get Cam the proper setup. I know, it's freezing again, isn't it, today? Look, sometimes the computer has a great day and it goes dead smooth, and you'd think I had a bloody setup like the top pundits. Sometimes you think I was filming on a toaster, but it is what it is. Wayne says, yeah, but Olsen doesn't make that pass to Dom that wins us the pen, swings and roundabout. Spot on, mate, spot on. Philip says, always sold out, Fabio. Ian says, even in Cam fellow Blues, what another superb game for our mighty Blues for me. Godfrey will be the signing of the season at this rate. You're spot on, mate. He was absolutely excellent once again, wasn't he? Wim says, Gabaman totally didn't show up. I might have to wait a few months though. Semi says, fair play then. Semi says Gabaman's an urban legend. Just talking about Gabaman in the comments. Robert says, Cam, who would you bring in January if we can? Another wide forward for the right pace and can score goals. Another centre mid with pure graft nature. I think if we are to make a signing, I want to prioritise a right back. I think we need a natural forward-thinking right back to replace Seamus Coleman, because ultimately Seamus is coming towards the end of his... I don't want to say the end of his career, but the end of his career of playing week in, week out in the Premier League. But whether we'll have to wait till the summer for that, I don't know, to be honest with you. But again, back up for Dom wouldn't be the worst thing if we sell Cenk Tosun. Maybe another central midfielder to sort of fill that role next to Alan and Decore. And Semi says, Mina turns up with the odd header on occasion and I love it. It's always on the 45th minute, mate. Merry Christmas, everyone. Semi says, Davis led them back into the game there, putting his leg in like that. Yeah, it was stupid. It was stupid. I can't back it. It was silly, but I thought he had a really good game. Other than that, to be perfectly honest with you, I thought he was very, very solid. Certainly in that first half, I thought he was brilliant in that first half. Other than that, Wayne says, I agree, Charm. There's no Alan, but he did okay in that game. Don't think there's any need to get on his back for the occasion. Exactly, we won the game. Semi says, Tom might have cost us points with that penalty, maybe 2, maybe 3, cost us a 3rd clean sheet as well. Wormy hadn't watched them play much this season, but whatever the issue is, it's too much quality for them to be kicking around in 15th place. Talking about Arsenal, player wants has huge problems at Arsenal that I don't think sit with the manager, although he's not helping. I reckon Arsenal are in limbo, which we've been in the past. Yeah, look, I was on Football United TV yesterday. The video was up, we tweeted it out, and we spoke about Arsenal and the issues at Arsenal, and look, those issues come from the top. Any organisation, football club, shop, IT company, issues come from the top, mate, and they fall. And what you're seeing on the pitch is just representative of what's happening in the boardroom and in the executive rooms. Cal says, hey, mate, 1 year on 1 year of the best manager of all time. Spot on. Colin says, put a strong team out, not to lose. I do think we'll put a strong team out, don't get me wrong. I'm just not completely convinced it'll be the same team that we've seen over the last couple of weeks or so. Wayne says, I want to see Ben Godfrey in the left centre-back position. He is a beast. Certainly is. Semi says, miss Jags. Wayne says, be nice to have one attacking full-back. Wayne says, keep Allgate at right-back for me. He can cover Hammers when he comes in and put Godfrey left centre-mid. Or centre-back? Centre-mid? Centre-back, I usually mean when Dean returns. Yeah, potentially. And Semi says, Man United have an abundance of power. They do. They're a very, very good team. They've got a lot of power, and we do have to be, we have to be cautious of that ultimately at the end of the day. But look, again, just to summarise this one, a brilliant win for Everton on the day that Carlo Ancelotti was appointed Everton manager 12 months ago. Everton go into Christmas 4th in the Premier League, only a few points off the top of the league, literally on the same points as the teams around us in 2nd and 3rd. And considering Carlo took over this Everton team at 15th, with having played 4 more games than we currently have, on I think it was 14 points or something. We're now on 26 points, 4th in the Premier League. Sorry, joint 3rd. I think might even be joint 2nd. No, joint 3rd. I think we are. No, I think we're joint 2nd as well. Anyway, doesn't matter. 4th in the Premier League, going into Christmas. What a man Carlo Ancelotti is. Not only the fantastic results that we've had, but the turnaround in performances, the turnaround in mentality, the turnaround in players. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, excellent since Carlo come in. Michael Keane, excellent since Carlo come in. Obviously, he's brought in Ben Godfrey, unbelievable footballer. James Rodriguez, world class. Alan, world class. Decore, excellent footballer. Luca Dean, improved massively. Richarlison, improved massively. So, again, a lot of positives, and a lot of positives to take from that result on Saturday, which really, really was a brilliant performance. Carlo Fantastico, Carlo Magnifico. Have a brilliant Christmas. Obviously, you'll hear from me before Christmas. I'll be back tomorrow with the preview to the United game, so don't worry about that. But It really, really is a good time to be a Blue. It really, really is an exciting time, and a lot of that is down to having one of the best managers to ever manage in football currently in the dugout at Goodison Park, week in, week out, which is just, it's breathtaking. I still pinch myself. I thought that Carlo Ancelotti is our manager. Mike has donated £2 to the live stream. He says, Merry Christmas, Cam and everyone. Thank you very much, Mike. Really do appreciate that one. Philip says, Carlo with heart. Semi says, Merry Christmas. Yeti Christmas, Blue Boys. Whammy says, Mike, lad. Philip says, hi, Mike. Semi says, LMAO. I know, mate. Thought I had lost my marbles. Liam says, have a Yeti Christmas, Cam. Hope you and your family have a wonderful Christmas. Thank you very much, Liam. Really do appreciate that. I hope you and your family have a brilliant Christmas as well. Liam says, Cam decides to read the comments backwards. Makes us all sound like loons. I love it, mate. Sometimes I love just going back on conversations and everyone being dead confused. Chen La says, just bought a Lazio t-shirt and spent 3 hours navigating through all the Italian words. We've all been there before, mate. We've all been there before. Semi says, be the talk of the town with all your mates with Mighty Blues merch. Get yours today. Listen, that'll be boss. That would absolutely be boss. Fabio says, Merry Christmas, dudes. Thank you very much, mate. Wim says, damn it, we want merch. Lava says, all the very best, Cam. Cheers, bud, you too. Semi says, Mighty Blues merch is boss. Nice one, mate. Wim says, I don't buy merch, but I will buy a cup and a Mighty Blues top. Cam is right. Thank you very much. I really, really do appreciate that one, mate. I really do. Fabio says, is Everton too defensive without James? No. I think James would be brilliant in this Everton team. I think James would be brilliant with this Everton back line. To be perfectly honest with you, James, for me, would have had a field day against Arsenal. An absolute field day creatively. As would have Luca Dean. And I don't think the fact that we've been defending brilliantly affects James' performance going forward, because he's been brought in to be creative up top. And I think this is just a narrative that's being put out there by the media because they want him to fail ultimately. Eugene says, after the Everton vs Manchester United quarter final on Wednesday, we play Sheffield United. We do. And Semi says, love to get Dean back. Brilliant footballer, puts Gosling into the box like a boss. Yeah, and hopefully he'll be signing a new contract as well, because it's been rumoured today. Paul Joyce said that Everton are preparing to offer him a new contract, so hopefully he signs that. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's live stream. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit that like button. Big thank you for all of your support. Really, really do appreciate it. What a brilliant win that was on Saturday. Got to take that into Wednesday now against Manchester United. Get into the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. Beat Sheffield United on Boxing Day and continue this brilliant run of form. Carlo Fantastico. Carlo Magnifico. He loves the Toffees. He loves Crosby. He loves everything to do with Everton, and we love him. And we love the Blues, and we love Ben Godfrey, and we love Mason Holgate, and we love Richarlison, and we love Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and we love Iwobi. And I could sit here and talk for about 45 minutes about everyone we love. But we love the Toffees. Up the Toffees. Big game on Wednesday. Like I said, we'll be back. Preview to the Carabao Cup quarter final against Manchester United tomorrow. Look out for that one. Massive thanks for all of your support. You can see about the toffee. Jonathan says Merry Christmas from Trinidad. Merry Christmas to you too, Jonathan. When we said talk about Iwobi, I'm lost with Iwobi. Has been really good up until he has to cross and pass it again. I think he needs to improve in his final ball, but I think his effort has been fantastic recently. I think he's a big, strong lad, physical, very quick. He's a brilliant footballer. He just needs to improve on his final ball. And when he says get him on cross training and we might have a player, spot on, mate, spot on. Tony and Luke says the Gabaman rumour about him being injured again. I think there's any truth in it, Cam? From what I've seen, it's just some fella on Twitter who said it, which is about as reliable as when that fella said his ma worked in the Titanic and James has just told him that he's going back to Madrid because he hates it here. Bollocks, basically. But, you know, we'll wait and see. Semi says, thanks, Cam. Thank you very much. Fabio says, talk about the Carabao Cup. Well, if you want to listen to us talking about the Carabao Cup quarter-final, we'll be back tomorrow, again, with the preview. Give my predicted starting 11, give my predictions to the game, and of course talking a lot more about that game. Semi says, great to see you all. Everyone have a great holiday. Thank you very much, you too. You says, Spirit of the Blues, and Semi says, everyone take care. Sam says, up the fucking toffees. Up the toffees, indeed. Big thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you soon.